Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've made it through this week's Marvel books as well as our single solitary image book. Now let's move on to this week's DC books. Kicking things off, we've got Outsiders number 4. Where we left off, the Outsiders were continuing their travels in the carrier. But anyways, this issue focuses on concept of Sentry Babies, with one in particular. Now, quick refresher on what a Sentry Baby is. Sentry Babies were a concept introduced in the late 90s Wildstorm books. Primarily, I believe, initially with Stormwatch and then Storm and Authority. But a Sentry Baby is a baby that is born at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Day of the beginning of a new century. The first one introduced was Jenny Sparks, who had lightning powers. So, but before multiple retcons ago, multiple company-wide reboots ago, the 21st century Sentry Baby was Jenny Quantum, but well, this is a different Jenny. So she was born stroke of midnight 2000. She and, everyone's worried about the Y2K bug, which didn't happen. But in times of stress, she would basically, whatever, if she was feeling strong emotion, it would affect the rest of the world. There was a time she cried for and it didn't be able to stop, and across the globe, well, flooding for 3 days straight. She tanked the global financial markets. Again, on accident, but and she has learned ways to keep her emotions in check, and it's harder, but yeah. But so actually somehow missed this page. So they're on. So this is a Sentry Baby on Earth 0, but and so the Outsiders go after her. Batman and Batwing on the field with Jenny noting them and trying to get away from them. And Jenny manages to lose Batwoman, eventually making her way out of a train station where she runs into Drummer. Her and Drummer talk. Drummer even tells her about the other Sentry Babies. You should get names of it on with so before Jenny Sparks was Jenny Steam, then Jenny Discovery, Jenny Crusade. There was even a Jenny Quantum once, but not anymore. But Jenny asks, basically points out seems Drummer's saying everything that's happened is Jenny's fault. Every single day of her life is another disaster, and she's just supposed to, what, live through it? But Drummer says no, she's supposed to control it. And, she manages to at least direct things in a certain way, but, they offer to, basically say, hey, come with us, join our team. But she says, no, 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 I'm not doing that. But Jenny Crisis does seem to be an ally for the outsiders, and that is where the issue ends. Cool take, cool issue. I never had the chance to read much with Jenny Quantum. Um, I remember that apparently she brought Lobo to the Wildstorm universe once after having read the Lobo Paramilitary Christmas special. At least I think it was a Paramilitary Christmas special. Um, I have read quite a bit featuring Jenny Sparks, and always liked Jenny Sparks. I've long had an idea of merging Wildstorm and DC in a manner where Wildstorm stuff, largely from the '90s, still happened in conjunction with modern DC stuff. And an idea, part of that idea included resurrecting Jenny Sparks after Blackest Night. Anyways, moving on to our next book, though, we've got Red Hood, The Hill, #1. So there was a zero-issue one-shot last week of this that I actually kind of missed, so went a little blind. But Jason Todd is moving to the Hill. And so the issue begins shortly before the Joker War. There's at a diner. There's a truck driver, claims he used to be a henchman, telling stories about the old days, and one of the cook at the diner is kind of doubtful because why would dude give that life up? Guy says that one night he was a VIP, the next Batman's thrown him through a window. It got old and dude got older. But things are a little tough money wise. So most of the employees of the diner are sent home, and there's really just one customer. When a bunch of clowns burst in. And that one customer, old lady, deals with them rather viciously. One of them, one gets their head cut off, and the other gets a knife in the face. But yeah, they're all. And the two remaining employees of the diner, she tells, she'll teach them balance. Present day, there's a mass vigilante called Strike. Works with someone named Sofim. But Strike is not too much of a team player. That said, there's something of a gang war going on. Not as big as with the one going on in Marvel, but yeah. They turns out there's a pastor that has been leading one of the Hill's most ruthless gangs from his pulpit. And after this particular night, only there will only be two gangs remaining in the Hill. The whole thing is that the pastor has to transfer basically all of his funds to elsewhere. But the Grand Imperial has judged him apparently, and the strike shows up, fights off the gang when Red Hood and Red Hood, Sophim, and a few others show up as well. Sadly, though, Grand Imperial manages to escape, and one of these two. It seems that Grand Imperial is one of the employees of a diner earlier. Strike being the other. There's a cutaway to an interview being given by an entrepreneur on one of the various news shows on Gotham. He was recently kidnapped, and his father was revealed to be something of a criminal. But it seems there's maybe some information that maybe he set up his own kidnapping. But Jason Todd's moved to a new place. He's having a housewarming party. It does seem that some of his teammates are there. Strike shows up. Her and Jason talk on the roof. And we get confirmation that the entrepreneur from earlier is working with the gang that Omar from the diner is leading. Who appears to be the chaos side of things. Strike's meeting with an informant of hers within the GCPD. While they're meeting, though, she notes a laser dot on his forehead, pushes him out of the way of a gunshot. And Omar says that the cops are relevant, but Strike is his. Then Red Hood, the Watch, and every other agent of chaos. Oh, okay, so Omar is order. Yeah, Omar represents order. Our heroes represent chaos. But they intend to take down all the agents of chaos in the city, and order will finally be brought to Gotham. And that is where the issue ends. Interesting start to the miniseries. I think this is a 6-part miniseries. I think. We'll find out. It's interesting to note we've got a Red Hood book that's not written by Matthew Rosenberg. Rosenberg had kind of, I don't want to say laid claim, but basically had seemed to lay claim to writing Red Hood recently. So, but anyways, moving on to our last book for the moment, we've got Wesley Dodd's Sandman, number 5. Where we left off, Wesley had fought his dark counterpart, and said counterpart ended up falling out the window of Mr. Vanderlyle's apartment. And so, cops are on the scene, taking care of the body. The detectives are upstairs questioning Wesley. Apparently Mr. Vanderlyle is in the hospital. But Wesley tells Vanderlyle's butler, Humphreys, to go to the hospital and return Mr. Vanderlyle home when he's ready. Anything he needs, be sure he has it. But Wesley also has an idea of who it was that took his notebook. The colonel that had interviewed him earlier in the series. And so, makes his way to Fort Hamilton in Brooklyn, retooling his his sleeping gas to cause immediate sleep. Goes after the guards and eventually makes it to the colonel. After having to get through a group of guards wearing gas masks, but brings in the colonel, gets him talking. Outlining the entire thing, but it kind of does come off that he's not the it wasn't his idea. The colonel says that well, the police are on the way. I'm a decorated officer. There's nothing going to happen to me. Though Wesley's been recording him. So the police show up and find the colonel with the record of his confession, basically playing. Back at Vanderlyle's apartment, however, he asks Humphreys to get him his reading glasses, which are from the living room. And Humphreys finds something odd under one of the couches. Wesley Dodd's journal. And Vanderlyle knocks him out, saying he's a country of war, or he's a casualty of war, and that Humphreys is a casualty of war. His country thanks him for his service, and that is where the issue ends. Interesting. Vanderlyle was the obvious choice, but it's kind of when it's an obvious choice, it's always a good idea to make a reason for readers to say, oh, okay, well, clearly it's not that character that's the bad guy, so let's move on. So who else could it be? Anyways, that's going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off saying, live long and rock hard.